Welcome back to another episode of the Chit Chat and Crochet podcast. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking all about the game of wool. We're also going to talk about a few other things. I've got a really exciting giveaway that we're going to be talking about as well. So that is what we're going to be doing this evening. So if you've never ever been here before, my name is Stephanie Mitchard. I crochet, I craft, I do lots of different types of things. And this is our little corner of the internet where we do all things crochet and all things crafty. I say our little corner of the internet because we've got an amazing community here. That is the best thing about doing this channel. I have been uploading consistently now for a year, and the best thing to come out of this is the fact that we now have this amazing craft club where it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can come and you can join us. We upload twice a week. We have our Chit Chat and Crochet podcast on a Wednesday. The videos go up at 7 with a premiere episode so we can have a little chat function in the comments. And then we also have on Sunday, we have our craft project of the week, 10 a.m. So you have those live chat functions going on. And then also we have the Mitchard Mateys Craft Club over on Facebook. Thank you, Wendy, for giving us that name. So during the week, if you're working on something, you can go post it over there and share it with all of us. So if that all sounds amazing, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notifications, come and join the community. So you might not have heard, but there's been a really cool new program come out called The Game of Wool. It's on Channel 4 here in the UK. So if you are in a different country, you may be struggling to get hold of it. But if you get a VPN, you should be able to get hold of it. It's hosted by Olympian swimmer Tom Daley, and it's kind of been causing a little bit of drama over in the knitting community. Now listen, I'm a crocheter. I'm very much involved in the crochet community, and I'll be honest with you, I was a bit shocked really at some of the seriousness of the knit community, and I was a bit kind of oh, but then this week we had crochet, and I found myself getting very twisted and very stressed out. Tilly's even barking in the background, agreeing with me about the vibe. So this week we had crochet, and I found myself getting those feelings of getting a little bit stressed and a little and I totally get it now. I totally get it. So, are you ready? Have you watched it? If you haven't watched it, I'm going to be talking about spoilers. I'm going to be talking about who wins. I'm going to be talking about who gets cast off. Cast off, yes, that is what they call getting kicked off the competition. We're going to be talking all about that today. So maybe go and catch up, or if you don't care about the spoilers, stick around. So, what am I working on? I am actually working on a hooded snood. I actually got this wool. So the top wool is actually the Yorkshire Spinners wool. It's so beautiful. It's chunky. I did it in a 5mm, and I'm just doing singles, or your UK terminology, your doubles. And then I ran out. So I'm like, okay, I've got the Aldi wool. So I'm basically carrying on with the Aldi wool. And it's, to be honest with you, the colour, it's not that worlds apart, to be honest with you. It's kind of okay. So that is what I'm doing. So the bottom part is going to be with that acrylic wool, and then the top part where you want it to be cozy, around the ears, that is going to be in that wool, 100% wool. So that is what we're working on today, making a little snood. This is actually a present. So somebody watching this video might be getting this soon. I just realised as well that I'm actually not working in singles or, doubles if they're using the UK. I am actually doing halves. I'm doing a half double. That's what I am doing. Don't know why I said at all that I was doing singles. It's half doubles. The Yorkshire Spinners, I was using a 5mm hook, but then when I've changed to the DK, I've actually used a 4mm. And I thought by using a thinner wool and a smaller hook, when it gets to around the neck, because what I want is it's going to be like a hood, but it's going to have a long neck, so you can bunch it up, or if you fold it up inside, you can actually cover part of your face like a balaclava. So that is the kind of vibe that I'm going to be doing with this. I'm very excited to see how this turns out. Also, just before I start the video, I went to a Modern Yarn this weekend. I am so excited to share with you what we ended up doing. This week's video on Sunday is going to be me and David going to a Modern Yarn, and we ended up meeting up obviously with Michaela, whose third birthday it was. Very, very exciting. And we also bumped into Sarah from the Knitting Forecast as well. So Michaela, who is just an absolute legend, she has made this amazing community here. She's based in Formby, but obviously we travel in from different places to come and to see her. So in the Northwest, she's just created this absolutely amazing community. And she doesn't just focus on knitting, she really does focus on us crocheters as well, which I cannot be more grateful. I also bumped into Marianne from Penny Stitch Crafts as well, which I love bumping into Marianne. She's a very, very talented hand dyer. I've got two of her skeins. I actually took two of her skeins with me, and I've actually got one of her skeins actually here. I brought this with me to a Modern Yarn. I bought this, I think it was when I was in Mould. I just love how vibrant it is. It was either in Mould or it was either in Cumbria, and my idea was I was going to make socks with it. So I actually already started making socks, and this is what I was working on while I was in a Modern Yarn, because we all just sat around and just crocheted and knitted, and it was absolutely amazing. And we were all making socks. Like, it felt like a real kind of like a sock club almost. It was so funny. Marianne as well, she was looking at it and she was going, there's not a lot of give in like the sock. These are quite tight, and I think the fact that I quite like the fact that they are a little bit tight, because I know with time they are going to kind of stretch out a little bit. So she actually showed me an extended single crochet stitch, which is basically, you know, when you're pulling through and you end up with the two loops on your hook, you pull through the first and then you pull through the second, and it kind of gives it a bit of give. So when I'm making the socks, the pattern that I'm using is Olga. I can't remember her surname. There was a bit of controversy around that sock pattern as well. I think somebody was actually recreating the pattern. And it's a really straightforward pattern, so I don't know why that person was doing it. It was like really, really strange. Or somebody slated it or something like that. But I bought it and it's been great. The only thing that I had to do was that when I started making these, they went a bit too tight around my feet. So I had to like unravel it and just put an extra extension in the toe, like an extra increase layer, and it was fine. So I don't know what this person was like stressing about. I am going to do a video and do a bit of a pattern review and kind of talk about this, and I'm going to use this yarn and I'm going to alter the pattern and do the extended single crochets and see how that turns out. So as this massive celebration, Michaela has decided to do a collaboration with myself, with Sarah from the Knitting Forecast, and also Karen from Stitches and Jacks. So what she's doing for all of us is she's actually going to be doing a giveaway with Luca-S yarns. Their woolen walk. Oh my gosh, this, by the way, is so beautiful. This is 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It's so lovely and soft, but you can tell that it's like a bit hardy, which is going to be perfect for your sock yarns. This is classed as a luxury sock yarn, but it's at a really good price packet as well. And Michaela has decided to do an amazing giveaway with us. We are all getting 5 giveaways. How amazing is that? You can be in with a chance of winning 2 of these. I've chosen different colorways. This is one of the colorways that I've chosen. There's also a really amazing like pink and like bright red. There's a green, there's a blue, and I'm just so excited to get them all to show you them. So this is the giveaway that we're going to be doing. I'm also going to be making some socks out of this and doing a review of the wool, but you're going to be in with a chance of winning. So if you want to know how you can win 2 balls of the Luca yarn, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to give you all that information on how to enter. So if you wanted to see what their birthday party was like as well, stick around this Sunday, because I'm going to be taking you along with me and David to a Modern Yarn. So let's get talking about the Game of Wool, episode 3. This week is all about holidays. We're going to be making swimwear in the individual challenge, and we're going to be making a deck chair as part of the team challenge. Now, the thing that I love most about this episode is that the contestants were given the option of knitting or crochet to make those swimsuits, which I feel really bad because Meadow went home, and Meadow, you could tell, is just going to be like, would have been absolutely amazing at this challenge. The deck chair as well is going to be fully made out of crochet, And I'm going to be honest with you, some of the vibes of some of the contestants, the way they think about crochet, turns around and bites them in the bum, really, which to be honest with you, I'm kind of happy about that, because I feel like the attitude about crochet a lot of the times is that, you know, it's easy, and you know what, it is easy, but when you start thinking about technicalities and trying to make an elevated garment, I think that's where the skill comes in, because I do think that crochet, it can look a little bit shabby sometimes, especially if you're using like a chunky wool. This is where you see people, like in particular like Holger and Elsa, where you see their skills coming through. So obviously, being a challenge that involves a swimsuit, Tom Daly is extremely excited because Team GB are going to be coming to model these amazing costumes. And obviously in the first few seconds, he's got his top off. I mean, the judges have literally said as well that they're going to be critical and they're looking for like those technical kind of skills. The swimsuits, they need to be fitted. And you know what? They need to not be skimpy. We need to make sure that these athletes, all their bits are covered up. So they can either make a full swimsuit, a bikini, or they can do trunks. Now, if they're doing trunks, they have to put an accessory with those trunks. All of the swimsuits as well are inspired by the contestants' favourite holiday destinations. Dipti is first. I really love Dipti's idea. She's going to be making a bikini inspired by a holiday that she took with her choir to Las Vegas. So it's very, very glitzy. And that's one thing that Di and Sheila both want. They want glamour in these swimsuits. Like, that is like a key word there, glamour. So Dipti chooses a really sparkly yarn, which I don't know how comfortable that's going to be, because I don't know whether you've ever worked with like a sparkly yarn. It can be, depending on what brand, it can be quite scratchy. But she went to Las Vegas with her choir, and I think, again, that's kind of given like a little bit of information about her and like, you know, her identity. Like, she sings, she's in a choir, it's brilliant. Simon makes this little comment to her going, like, oh, if you've performed in Las Vegas, are you a showgirl? And she just looks at him and just goes, no. The edit on this TV show is absolutely hilarious. It's like so dry, like very, very British kind of like sense of humour. They're not just being all nicey, and I think that's absolutely fab. Holger is going to be using a granny square, and he is going to be making trunks, and the accessory that he ends up making to go with the trunks is like a little vest, like a little string vest. The colours that he's chosen as well are all blues, which again, very cohesive. I think when I first saw the string vest, I was a bit like, oh my god, a string vest. Like, it's literally just given like old man wearing like a handkerchief on holiday. But this is Holger. It's not going to be like that. It's not. And it's inspired by Daya, which is a coastal town in Mallorca. Lydia is inspired by a holiday she took to Australia, and she's making a big one-piece costume. It's going to be very, very shaped, and there's also going to be like a lace element to it, which Di is very, very excited about, because we want that like little bit of added glamour. Elsa, oh my gosh, when Elsa comes on the TV, she makes like this comment where she says something like, I didn't ever think I'd be like agonising over the length of an Olympian's crotch. Which is just so funny. She was inspired by a holiday she took with her friend to Venice. So think like Harlequin. She's made these gorgeous crocheted diamonds. It's absolutely beautiful. Simon is at it again with the crochet. And this is where I started to get like a little bit wound up with him, because for me, I'm like, if you don't really crochet, you've already failed at crochet. And if you're a knitter and you've got the option to knit, then why are you not knitting? That's your strong suit. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's also going freeform with it as well. Why are you going freeform? If you don't know what you're doing, why are you doing it? And again, I feel like it comes down to like this attitude of like crochet is like the easy one to go for, where he learns the hard way. No, it's not. He's inspired by Disneyland Paris, which is somewhere that he says that he goes quite a lot. And he's inspired by the colours in the castle. I'm going to be really brutal. I think what he makes is absolutely ugly. I think it's so ugly. The colours that he chooses is like this kind of very dark, creamy kind of colour. Oh, not quite a coffee. Like, it's this kind of very like muted cream. And he pairs it with like this baby blue and this baby pink. He's doing these trunks that are going to have granny square circles on. Circles to kind of think about like Mickey's ears, but they don't really translate as Mickey, and it doesn't really feel like very Disney when he's actually like making the design. He also designs a utility belt with these big crochet circles on. And again, maybe if he chose different colours, it would be better, but the colours that he chose are just so gross and I just really don't like it. Stephanie is the same. Stephanie, again, is kind of states that, you know, she's not really a crocheter, she's a knitter, but chooses to do crochet for her garments. She's very, very well-travelled. Isaac kind of comments on, you know, how well-travelled she is. She also mentions that she got married, I think she said she got married at Sandals, I think. So the marriage didn't last, but she has lovely memories, and she's very inspired by like these kind of like beachy tropical holidays. She's making a bikini, and like the design's gonna have like a palm tree and like, you know, things like that. But yeah, I am kind of feeling like a lot of the time, like a lot of the contestants are kind of using crochet as this kind of like easy get out and thinking like that's gonna be, you know, something that they could achieve. Where, you know, again, they make garments and they look great, but are they elevated? Which is kind of like what they asked for at the start of the competition, that they're going to be looking at your technique. So why would you choose something that you're not that well versed in? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Tracy. Now, I have to talk about Tracy's walking stick. I'm going to put a picture right here of Tracy's walking stick because it's so cool, because she's crocheted it and it's orange and it's got loads and loads of these like little oranges all over it. It's so fab. Now, Tracy is a crocheter and she has decided that she is going to be inspired by her holidays to the Isle of Wight. Again, we're going with like a bit of a beachy kind of theme, and she's going to be putting fuchsias onto the bikini as well. Now, Di loves the idea of her putting these fuchsias on because she loves fuchsias, but what she's concerned about is if it's going to translate. Because think about how many petals there are on fuchsias and there's a lot of details. Is that going to translate when she puts it into crochet, especially with the time that she has? She's also going to be adjusting the stitches, like the stitch sizes, to deal with the tailoring. So that is how she's going to be tailoring it, is by switching the stitches out. So probably using like a treble going down to a double, then going down to a half, and then you can get that tailoring going around like the bust and things like that. Isaac is inspired by a holiday that he took where he went to the New River Gorge, and the board shorts that he's going to make are all about rock climbing and his holiday there. So he's going to be pairing his board shorts with a little chalk bag, because obviously that's something that you use when you're rock climbing. I love that he actually put thought into this, because it's like, okay, rock climbing, and the accessory is going to be a chalk bag, where like I feel like Simon, he's just kind of like tacked on like this utility belt. What's the utility belt got to do with anything? Like, think of a more cohesive idea. I just love that Isaac put that forethought into it. So throughout this little bit, they're kind of, you know, tuning in with all of the contestants, seeing how they're getting on. Stephanie's worrying because it's like, girl, you don't crochet. No wonder you should be worried. When they get to Lydia, Di's crying again. Karen commented on my last video saying, I don't think I'm going to cope if this woman cries every week. Sorry, Karen. She's in tears already. But yeah, she's like so moved by Lydia's design. I mean, don't get me wrong, what Lydia makes is absolutely amazing. Like, her skill, her knitting skill is absolutely like out of this world. And the colours she chooses, it's absolutely stunning. It looks very, very fine as well. And having like the lace detail on it is kind of elevating into that like kind of glamour that both Di and Sheila are like wanting. I think the colours she chooses are just, they're complementing each other so well. And nothing about her design is like garish. Also, they show a little clip of Elsa's crochet. It's so fine and so detailed. This girl is so skilled. Like, there's what you should be aiming for if you're doing crochet. Tracy is worrying about the flowers. Has she done enough? She's worrying about whether it's translating. Holgar's working on his little string vest, which is, you know, coming out. He's worried about the length of it. That was like one of the key things that he was like thinking about, the length. And Tom Daly says something to him like, you know, oh, like a little crop moment is like cool. And Holgar was just like, not for me. Isaac spent a lot of time obviously on the trunks, and he's panicking about the chalk bag being ready, and he's really trying to like rush that through. And I don't think it's probably going to be what he actually intended. And then they show Simon's utility belt, and I have nothing to say. I'm sorry, I have nothing to say. That is nice, so I'm not going to say anything at all. So then they come to the modelling, and Lydia goes first. They love the colours. Di is just talking about how chic it is. It fits really, really well. And again, the lace kind of bringing it to that like elevated sort of standpoint. Then you have Dipti. It fits. And they love all the stitch work, but the model is saying how, you know, she probably wouldn't wear that. It's also like really revealing, like they full on like show her bum, like it's like a thong. I don't know what Dipti was thinking. Elsa's again is so pretty. It fits really, really well. And I just think it's like really creative, like going to like Harlequin kind of moments. But one thing they do comment on is on the collar, like around the top, you can see the threads, which, you know, is a bit of a no. Now it's Isaac's turn, and they don't like Isaac's. And I'll be honest with you, I really love his ideas, but I don't like this at all. I don't like the lettering on the bum. I think the lettering kind of cheapens it. There's not really glamour, which is like what both Di and Sheila have asked for in this competition. And it just kind of looks like a little bit shabby. Like it looks handmade, but like not in a good way. Now Stephanie's turn. Now it's very skimpy. It also is like a little bit too simple, and it's not really reading what she like is trying to translate to us. She's trying to like, you know, translate this kind of beachy kind of vibe, where what we've been given is kind of like a half finished little palm tree with little silver bits going through the crotch. And it just doesn't look good. And I hate to say that because Stephanie's one of my favourites, and I still stand by. I think she would be boss at a craft club. I think she'd be really fun. So then they show Tracy's, and the first thing that came into my head when I saw Tracy's was the gusset. Like, oh my gosh, the gusset on that costume. I feel like that's not going to cover anything. The top definitely fits, and Di doesn't like the fuchsias. And I don't like the colours that she chose at all. I really, really don't. Now, Holgar's, the colours that he chooses, they all complement each other. He just goes full all blues. They are so well fitted, those trunks, so well fitted. They have like a little kind of slit as well, like on like the thigh. Not a big slit, but just kind of like a little bit of detailing where it kind of goes up at the joint. Really, really beautiful. And the vest, that little crocheted vest, little string vest, absolutely gorgeous. He did it in like a navy, and it just goes so well, which, you know, string vest, you wouldn't think kind of like high end, but the way Holgar's made it, 100% high end. Then we come to Simon. I mean, where do I start? Ugly colours, bad fit, not really that skilled in the crochet. The way that the sides are held together, like I don't really have anything nice to say about it. I just think it's absolutely awful, and I think that he should have knitted this 100%. And, you know, I think if he knitted this, it probably would have translated a lot better, and he definitely would have got marked down, because the judges, they don't like it either. So then we move on to the team challenge, which is to crochet a deck chair. They've got to work in twos. You have Holgar and you have Isaac, Lydia and Tracy, Stephanie and Dipti, and Elsa and Simon. Thank God he's paired up with somebody who can actually crochet. Now, this is going to be the only crochet challenge. They've actually said that at the start of the episode, that this is going to be the only crochet challenge, which makes me so sad. The team has to work together to create this crochet deck chair. It has to be functional. So when Tom Daly sits in it, his bum cannot touch the floor. Now, I'm so hyped because Janie Crew comes in. Janie Crew is an amazing designer. You even see her bags. I think I went to Abercam Fabrics a while ago, and I saw this really, really cool tote bag with a crochet print on it, and I was looking at, oh, Janie Crew, that's her work. Like all these amazing, like almost like teardrop kind of crochet, kind of almost like grannies, you know what I mean? Gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. They almost kind of look like lanterns, like a lot of her work. Have a little look. She's like an expert, like flower, like tile crocheter. And what I really love about this as well is they actually have this moment where Janie Crew is actually doing like a demo of crochet and explaining which crochet stitches would be best and like most ideal for this project, which is obviously a single or, you know, UK double. Because that's going to be the tightest, it's going to be the strongest. Instead of doing like a double or, you know, a treble in UK terms, where that's going to give a bit of stretch. So when the person, Tom Daley, when he sits in it, that yarn is going to stretch out because of that length of the stitch. So we'll see what happens and see what people choose. They've also got the choice of 3 different cords. You've got a thick cord, you have a recycled cotton, and then you also have a fine cotton as well. Tom Daley also kind of makes this comment where he's kind of like, you know, you've obviously like about sitting in the chair being like, oh, you don't want to bottom out. And then he's like, that's a diving term. It's like, okay, Tom Daley, we know that you're a diver. And you know what, love? This isn't a show about diving or swimming, is it? This is a show about wool. Stop making your diving references. It's driving me mad. Like, we get it. We know you swim. So Elsa and Simon, they decide that they're going to have a theme of a beach hut. They're going to be using the cord yarn. That's a good choice. And they're the only team that is going to be doing this double-sided. So they're going to have like a loop going around the chair. So that way, when the person sits in it, it's going to have 2 layers extra strength, which is such a smart move. Stephanie and Dipti have made the foolish decision to do granny squares, which are traditionally made with double crochets or treble. And their theme is going to be cocktails on the beach. So they're going to be bringing in, I think they're going to be doing this like in a applique. I don't think they're going to be doing like tapestry or intarsia. Now, Lydia and Tracy, they're going to do like a Hawaii kind of theme. So they're going to be doing like a sort of plain chair with little flowers attached to it. And again, they're going to be working in singles. And Tracy, she's like, it's all about the embellishments. Tracy just loves an embellishment, doesn't she? And then Holger and Isaac, they're going to be doing intarsia and they're going to be doing like chips. So imagine like a paper cone of chips. And then they're going to go to that traditional kind of like striped chair as well. I really love when they're designing, all the contestants are given like this glass board and they design on like these glass boards. It's like, I just think that looks really, really cool. I think they're using Posca pens to colour them in, which again, are kind of like wipeable, which is obviously like a little bit better for the environment rather than doing it all on paper. The only downside is like they haven't got like those papers that they can keep hold of. But I think these glass boards are like really cool. So the first contestant to be judged are Holger and Isaac. Now, Holger and Isaac had to change halfway through the design because they realised that they were not going to finish. They were doing singles, the only group as well that decided to use that fine cotton as well. So it was just taking too long. The colour work is just gorgeous. And when they put all the chairs together, that's actually my favourite. Like, I just love Holger's vision with things. And I love the fact that Isaac suggested doing like this stripe. Like, they work really well together. I think that they've got like a similar vision of what they want to make. And I think it's beautiful. The only problem is they changed to doubles halfway through. So when Tom Daley sits in the chair, his bum just sank right to the floor. The next to go and model their creation was Tracy and Lydia. Now, the judges don't like the placement of the flowers. And because of the way that they'd stretched this onto the chair, they've done like these diagonal stripes. So at the top, you've got like this warping because of the way that they pulled it. Elsa and Simon are next, and it's so gorgeous. It's so fab. I love the fact that they had the forethought to do this as like, you know, basically a giant loop going around the bars, because it just looks so nice when he sits in it. I also love the fact that they used a shell stitch as well. So using that shell stitch kind of obviously goes back to like beaches, and it's a very functional item. So yeah, Tom Daley sits in it and it works. So really pretty to look at, plus functional. So Dipti and Stephanie, like, I really like what they actually make. They made this really gorgeous granny square, but the problem is when they attach it to the chair, Dipti goes to try it to see what happens and her bum starts to sink. It starts to sag. So they've got to edit the design. So poor Dipti is like cutting this yarn and just feeling like devastated, like cutting into it, because obviously they've got to try and edit it to try and make it stronger. Maybe they would have been in with a chance if they'd done like a double layer like Elsa and Simon. Maybe that would have translated a bit better and given it a bit of extra strength. But I don't know, it just was heartbreaking watching that happen. So when they present this to the judges, Tom Daley sits in it and his bum starts to sink. They've done like this applique on the top of like a cocktail glass, and Stephanie goes around it all in this black yarn, and it's just hideous. It's absolutely hideous. They comment on the black yarn saying like it probably wasn't like a good idea to do it in the black. It probably stood out too much. Maybe using a darker like brown or like something that's just like not black, because that is so intense. When Red actually came into the room while I was watching this, and he just kind of said, he was like, God, it looks so shabby. Like it doesn't look good. And just so sad, because you can see how much work they've actually put into this. So then they decide they're going to obviously judge. So in fourth place is Stephanie and Dipti. Even though their item was functional, they still lost. Which, I'm sorry, it was just not very, very nicely executed. Third place is Holgar and Isaac, which they loved, but again, it's not a functional item. Tom Daley's bum was on the floor. In second place, it is Tracy and Lydia. And then in first place is Elsa and Simon. Like, that had to win. Just so amazing. So then we get to the judging. So we've got, you know, big knitter of the week and who's going to get cast off. Now, the people who were in the top, you've got Lydia and you've got Elsa. I mean, that was like a given. Like, Elsa's crochet in both challenges was exquisite. Lydia, what she makes, that knitted swimsuit, was just so elevated. So yeah, 100% both of them deserve to be in the top. Now, who's at risk for being cast off is Stephanie, Isaac, and Simon. Although Simon was obviously in the top with Elsa, I do have my suspicions that Elsa probably carried him a lot within that challenge. So Lydia wins top knitter, and when they gave her the badge, they all kind of did this like bah, and I hated it. It's kind of like, stop trying to make fetch happen, it's not gonna happen. Like, no. And unfortunately, my girl Stephanie, she's gone. She's been cast off. Poor Stephanie. I mean, in all fairness, she was in the bottom last week, and what she did this week was not good. So I understand why she has to go. So next week, what they're going to be working on in the individual challenges are kids' fancy dress, which I'm very excited to see. Maybe give me some inspirations for Jackson. And then also they're going to be working on a wall hanging as well in their group challenge. And from what I can see, it's going to be 2 teams working on that challenge together. So these are my thoughts on the game of wool. I am really enjoying this, and I know that a lot of people are like very, very like, you know, upset. They might not be using the right terminology, but let's just remember, guys, this is a bit of fun. This is it's a wool competition. All this is going to do, there's no bad that's going to come of this. All this is going to do is bring more people to this amazing craft that we all share, crocheting and knitting. The fact that we have this show is absolutely amazing. Now, me and Michaela have been talking, and we want to do our own version of the game of wool. So that is something me and Michaela from A Modern Yarn are going to be working on for the new year. So hopefully we can get that up and going and up and running, because I like the idea of giving people, you know, let them bring their own garments and then finish it off, and then me and Michaela will be sort of hosting the show. That's the idea that we were floating on last Saturday. So keep tuned, stick around. If you think that might be fun for you, make sure you follow the channel and we'll be giving updates on that. Now, just to go back to A Modern Yarn and the giveaway, Michaela is just so kind. Michaela has started this amazing shop 3 years ago, and instead of it just being a wool shop, we're just selling wool, she has classes. She just has this amazing community. People go into her shop to start chat with her because she's so magnetic. She is so bubbly and so welcoming. Sometimes I feel like some sort of like her shop it's very high end. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, the way she has everything set out. She's so creative as well, because you go into a store and she's always like moving things around, and the shop never ever looks the same. So she has everything from like basic wool to like hand-dyed knits. Every single person at every single level is covered for in her shop. And if you need to go in there and sort of ask like advice, be like, oh, what? Because I'd never made socks before. I had never ever made socks. And I was kind of saying to Michaela, I was like, I bought this really gorgeous wool from Marianne, and I'm feeling a little bit like I don't really want to use that just yet, because I want to make sure I'm getting it right. But I bought a hand-dyed skein from her shop, and I was saying, is this going to be good for like, you know, for socks? And she's like, yeah, but the toes and the heel, it might not really work, so pair it with this. And she's given me these recommendations, and I've made these socks, and I'm just absolutely buzzing with it. And now I feel like I've got the confidence to move on to like the other wool that I've been kind of holding on to, that's like a little bit more precious to me. And I'm just absolutely made up. But again, just giving that little bit of advice, being like, do the toes and like a wool that's a little bit more hardy. That's going to make the sock like a little bit, wear a little bit more. She's not just going to sell you something. And, you know, she wants you to make sure that you're getting like the best thing out of your wool. She's honestly absolutely amazing, and she's been so supportive of me and what I do here. And the fact that she's also doing this giveaway for us, and it's not just me she's doing the giveaway for. She's doing this giveaway with Luca-S yarn, with myself, with Sarah from the Knitting Forecast, and also with Karen from Stitches and Jacks. I'm going to link all their content down below as well. So Michaela's info, Sarah's info, Karen's info, that's all going to be down there. So what we're going to be giving away is Luca-S Woolen Walk. You are going to get 2 balls of yarn, so basically 100 grams of yarn, to do your own socks. There's going to be 5 different colorways that I'm giving away as well. I love these colorways. I am so excited. Now, Sarah from the Knitting Forecast was actually making up some gorgeous socks in grey for her husband while we were all in a modern yarn. So make sure you go over to her channel, because she's going to be doing a giveaway as well, and so is Karen as well. So enter them all, see if you can get like, you know, some of this amazing yarn. Now, to be in with a chance of winning this yarn, you need to make sure that you are subscribed to all 4 of us. So you've got myself, Sarah from the Knitting Forecast, you've got Karen from Stitches and Jacks, and of course, Michaela from A Modern Yarn. All their information is going to be down below in the notes. And make sure you comment on this video. That is how you enter. Comment down below and tell me which colourway. Have a little look on their website. Which colourway is your favourite? And you'll be in with a chance of winning 2 balls of this. Now, this is going to be getting announced at the end of the month, and I am going to be doing a little live to announce the winner of this amazing sock yarn. So I'm going to be talking all about this on Sunday when we have our craft project of the week. But what we're going to be doing, instead of the craft project, we're going to be going to A Modern Yarn, and we're going to be showing all the amazing stuff that Michaela has got in her store. And I'm going to be talking a bit more about the Woolen Walk range. So make sure you come and hang out with us on Sunday. Remember, what we do here twice a week, we get together and we have our live chats. It really is like a proper community here. So if you don't have time to go to a craft club, why don't you come join us? Because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can come and join our craft club. You don't even have to leave your house. You can sit there in our craft club from the comfort of your own living room. Now, I never ever want any of my content to ever go behind a paywall. It's just not something that I believe in. I believe that regardless of your budget, you should have access to our community. But we do have a YouTube membership. It's $2.99 a month. And what that does is that helps me, you know, buy wool for the projects, and basically keeps me fueled in caffeine. For your membership, what you get is a little icon next to your name saying that you're part of the membership. You also get priority responses to comments, and you also get a shout out in every single video. So I just want to take the opportunity now to thank Wendy, David, Emma, Claire, Emma, Teddy, Liz, and Miss Horror Radio. Thank you so much for supporting me every single month. We also have the coffee app as well for one-off payments. And if you want to support in any way, just commenting. Commenting really pushes me towards the algorithm. And if you ever want to share the content, I will be so grateful. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully I will see you on Sunday when we go to A Modern Yarn. And if I don't see you Sunday, I'll see you next week. Bye.